Hello, it's Veganuary day 26 and I am opening a can of worms. Delicious worms. So today's video is about horses and do vegans ride horses and should vegans ride horses? Okay, this is a really interesting topic and one that I care about a great deal because I absolutely love horses. I always have done my whole life. Now, when we look at the principles of veganism, I'm going to go back to them again, just picking up my notes. We should avoid animal products, exploitation and cruelty as far as possible and practicable. Okay, so the words I want to look at today are exploitation and cruelty. So is it cruel to ride a horse? Well, in the traditional sense of the word and traditional riding methods, yeah, it is. Okay, when we have riding lessons, we're taught to kick the horse. Ouch. They have bits in their mouth which cause pain, and the bit actually damages the roof of their mouth. It's meant to hurt. That's how you control the horse. And we carry whips. And then there are spurs and all kinds of horrible things, you know, and horses get hit and beaten and, oh, that's normal, he's being naughty. Really? I've always found that kind of behaviour quite shocking. I'm going to go back to when I was a child and I had a friend who had ponies and I was absolutely besotted with the ponies. And I remember one day I saw her riding and the horse wasn't doing what she wanted to, and she got off and she smacked it around the face with a whip and she was beating it around the face. I remember being absolutely horrified thinking, oh, what are you doing? But that was absolutely normal to her and, you know, to her riding fraternity, and I was horrified. And I know not all riders would agree with that, so please don't all attack me at this point. I know not everyone reacts in the same way, not everyone acts in the same way, you know, and we've been told things like, oh yes, but, you know, horses don't feel things as much, it doesn't hurt them as much because they're big animals. But how do we know that? And should we be trying to hurt them anyway? Because it obviously does hurt when you whip them, or they wouldn't do what you're asking them to do, you know? So I had to step away from horse riding because, you know, I was having lessons, like traditional horse riding lessons, and I went, can't do this. I remember having the lesson, you know, going around trotting and being told kick more often. I was like, I don't want to kick the horse. It's really upsetting. I can't do this. I can't kick him. He doesn't like it. And I just couldn't do it. And I stepped away from that and I decided, you know, I was so conflicted about it. I didn't know what to do because I love horses. I love spending time with them. You know, ideally I would love to have a relationship where you can ride them and, you know, they're happy about it and they're comfortable with it. And I just didn't know where to go. And then I came across a wonderful channel on YouTube called Fair Horsemanship, which is run by a lady called Alizé, a French lady, who is very, very knowledgeable. And she really takes it from a completely different angle, and I want you to go check out her channel, so I'm going to put a link to it below. And it's really interesting because she sort of busts a lot of myths about horses and horse training and the things that we're told is normal and okay to do to them, because a lot of it really isn't okay at all, and it's certainly not vegan to be whipping a horse. Okay, that's cruel. I think we can all agree on that. But is it vegan to ride a horse? Okay, and again, I'm going to say that depends. All right, in the traditional sense of riding and in, you know, the traditional schools of riding, how it's taught and how it's done, no, it's not vegan to ride a horse at all. You have to kick the horse to make it go along, you know, you have to use aversives, you use a whip, or you intimidate the horse to get it to do what you want, you use a bit in its mouth, it hurts the horse. Research it if you don't believe me, look it up, it hurts. Okay, would you want a bit in your mouth? No, neither would I. Actually, I've just realised some people watching probably would enjoy that, but that's S&M and we're not going there right now. Okay, we're talking about horses and actual horse riding. But there is another way, okay? There are other things that we can do with horses, and there's also a really nice website I want to just mention, which is called Fed Up Fred, which I discovered, I think Alizé probably shared some of the little comic strips, and it's these brilliant little comic strips, and it's looking at horsemanship from another angle, from the horse's point of view and what they might like and what's actually going to work for them, and it's really great. So again, I'm going to link to that below, so check out Fed Up Fred. But yes, there is another way. And do we have to ride horses? No, of course we don't. Do horses want to be ridden? No, not necessarily. You know, they might allow us to ride them, but that should really be their decision, and that should be something that they're cool with and that they're comfortable with, and they're not put under any unnecessary duress, and they don't experience any unnecessary suffering, you know, for our entertainment and for our benefit. You know, a relationship that we have with our horse should be one based on mutual respect, kindness, compassion, and yes, we can have fun together. And riding isn't the only thing you can do with a horse. Okay, so if you already have horses and, you know, you've gone vegan and suddenly you're like, you have that light bulb moment, oh, what do I do with my horses? I can't ride them anymore in the traditional sense of the term. What on earth do I do? Is my horse wasted in the field? Well, I don't know, ask your horse. Does your horse think he's wasted out in the field? He's probably not that bothered about winning rosettes, you know, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a great relationship with your horse, interact with the horse, you know, enrich their lives, have a really good fun together. You know, there are lots of things you can do. You can go on walks together, you know, you can build trust. There are so many other things you can do with a horse other than riding it, okay? We have to get beyond thinking that horses are transport. Okay, it's not a Victorian era anymore. I know in some countries that is still the case, and I'm not trying to cast judgment, you know, on other countries, because obviously I live in England. I live in a privileged country where we don't require horses to do certain things for us anymore. You know, we don't need them to plough the fields. We don't need them as transport. Okay, so I am referring to, you know, a modern society. I don't expect everybody to be able to do this in the whole world, because that wouldn't be fair. Okay. But certainly in our society, we should be looking at better ways to have relationships with horses, because there are a lot of them, and there are a lot of domesticated horses, and we can't just release them to the wild because there's nowhere for them to go. If we could, that would be lovely. Not really practical right now. It's not going to work. We don't have the space. But there are lots of things we can do with them that don't hurt them, and that's what I want us to focus on today. Okay, what can we do to enrich our horses' lives that doesn't hurt them, doesn't inflict any kind of cruelty on them, and doesn't exploit them? And that's how we stay vegan. Okay, that's how we stay on the vegan side of horsemanship and of taking care of horses. We don't exploit them, and we're not cruel to them. So how can we still have relationships with them, because we still have horses? There are lots of horses that need good homes. At some point in the future, I would love to have horses myself, but would I be whipping them? Absolutely not. No. Will I be riding them? Maybe. Okay, and that's a maybe, but they would have to be okay with that. Okay, and animal communication is something that I will go into in another video, because that's a slightly different topic that I don't want to go too much into now, because it's a very, very big topic. Okay, and it is something that is possible, and obviously in my spiritual work, you're watching a vegan video, but I do a lot of spiritual work. This is a holistic channel, not a vegan channel. In my spiritual work, I have come across and I have done animal communication, and it's always very, very interesting to ask the animal how they feel and what they want. So I personally want to take things a step further than where they are already. Yes, we can use positive reinforcement, you know, we can use clicker training, which is wonderful to motivate horses to do things, but we can take it a step further and we can ask the horse what it wants. Okay, I'm not talking about Mr. Ed, but we can, there's a lot we can do, which is a lot kinder for horses than just kicking them, whipping them, and making them, you know, carry us around on their backs, because that isn't fair. So, should vegans ride horses? Again, I'm going to say no asterisk, because no in the traditional sense of the term, but moving forwards, I think we can build better relationships with our horses, learn to communicate with them better, and then riding them may become a part of what we do with them, but only if that works for them and that's something that's beneficial. Like, it might be the only way that we can get them some exercise. It might be the only way they can go out, you know, and have a really good run around is if they have a human on their back just to take care of them, you know, out in a public place. So it's a difficult one. It's a controversial one. A lot of people won't agree with me, and that's okay. On both sides. I know I walk a fine line here, but this is my opinion. Do remember to check out Alize's channel. Do check out Fed Up Fred. They're both really wonderful websites, and you will learn a lot. I've learned a lot, and I will continue to learn. And remember to subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you tomorrow.